Are you streaming tonight? Okay. Are you up? Yeah. Okay.
By
6:04.
yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's call the meeting of the Blythewood Planning Commission of November 2nd, 2020 to order, just after 6 o'clock. Appreciate everybody being here. The agenda is pretty scarce, so we should be in and out relatively quickly. Staff, Ms. Sarah Lynn, do we have notification and posting of the agenda? Thank you very much. And will you do a roll call for us?
Here? Here.
Here.
Here?
Here.
Okay, thank you. And the agenda was emailed out by staff last week. We appreciate that. And we will take a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Agenda is adopted, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And last item under Roman numeral number 1 would be approval of the minutes from the October 5th meeting. These were also emailed out. Hope everybody had a chance to look at them. They were pretty straightforward. And again, thank you to staff for putting those together.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then the meat of the agenda tonight would be 2 discussion items. Letter A being the comprehensive plan, and letter B being a plat revision, which staff will carry us through. So, comprehensive plan, I'll hand it off Commissioner Gorge and staff to talk about where we are for the comp plan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sure Mr. Cook will follow up on anything that I've omitted. There has been some discussion and work over the past month since our last meeting. The main point for the record is that Gregory Sprice from the Central Midlands Council of Government will be making a presentation at the December Town Council meeting. So he will be explaining their role and a vision for how this plan amendment will be completed. We've learnt that we need to add another element to the comprehensive plan that is a requirement that's just been passed into law, which is related to the sustainability of the town in the event of any major disasters, natural or otherwise. So I've made arrangements to include that in our summary of the elements that we need to address, and that will be the basis for the framework for the rewrite. The 2 other important aspects of the plan is obviously engagement from the community at large, residents and businesses, and the first step for that will be some form of survey or questionnaire, and again we'll be reviewing that with Gregory Sprice and the Council of Governments to get their input on the best and most effective way of carrying that out. What we don't want to do is just write a plan update amongst ourselves and then just present it to the town. That's clearly not going to work. So that's broadly the plan of approach. A couple of things that I've picked up during the last 4 or 5 weeks or so is the concept of community planning. And what I've suggested to Mr. Cook is that either at the next retreat or coincidental with the next retreat, we organize what is regarded as community planning, where we invite anyone from the town to come along and talk about their views and expectations for the town as it grows over the next 10, 15 years or so. And I would really like that to be part of the actual retreat, because it's important to engage the town council in that discussion as well. So quite a few things going on in the background, but I think it'll be very helpful actually getting Gregory Sprouse here and hearing in his own words how he sees the task and what he needs from us to help complete that, and what resources he can bring to bear to make it an effective and worthwhile exercise.
Mr. Cook, anything you need to add to that?
No, thank you, Mr. Gorst. I think that definitely summed up where we have been going since the last time we met. It is, I guess, a milestone that we are going to have the COG actually here, and that's when we'll start getting some traction. I know we've been talking about the different elements and land use element. I know I keep beating that one to death, but that's generally one that gets the most attention from folks. But they, being the COG, are already working on the data-driven elements that they can work on, pulling statistics and whatnot. So they are working on it behind the scenes. While it's not the pretty flashy work, it's important work, and we have to take a good look at those numbers as we move forward too. We will be tagging in town council, the mayor, and Mr. McKendrick. Have been talking quarterly meetings with the town council and the planning commission as we move forward with this comp plan rewrite, obviously making sure everybody's on the same page or close to the same page as we move forward. When Mr. Sprouse does come next month, he'll kind of lay out the basic elements for us and kind of the steps moving forward. Also, I would encourage you to ask plenty of questions when he's here. If he has not answered your questions, while the comprehensive plan has certain check boxes that we have to hit under state law, nothing says we can't color outside the lines a little bit on what we want or don't want for Blythewood. So don't feel like you can't, say what you want to say and have an opinion, because it's important as well. And I would just encourage before the next time we meet, just to kind of go over the comprehensive plan elements again. It's, kind of I guess if you take it like a regular book, it'd be the chapters of that book for the different elements that we consider with this update. So excited about moving forward with that.
Thank you very much. And with that, we can move on to letter B under discussion items. And Mr. Cook, do you want to discuss that plat for discussion?
Yes, sir. Thank you. The town ordinance just basically says when we approve certain plats, we bring it to the planning commission, just as information. It's nothing you had to vote on. We would pull it up on the screen. We have a little technical difficulties here. But basically, this is a subdivision creating one lot, or having one lot and turning it into 5 lots. It's off of Boney Road. It's a family subdivision, a air property subdivision, right between, right past, I guess, Blythe Creek before you get to the unincorporated part of the county on Boney Road. So there are certain check boxes that this plat has to meet, and they have met them. And we're just bringing it before you today. It's Ken Taser is the subdivision for the family that they're doing there. And it's just basically dividing it up, giving it to their kids or grandkids, as I understand it. So there's certain paperwork that goes with that and fill out. And also we'll note on the plat that it's been before the planning commission as information only, just to check that box. And then they'll record it with those affidavits that go along with it and a few other documents that need to go with it. And again, it's just here for information purposes only.
I appreciate you bringing that before us. Mr. Cook actually has the plat, if any commissioners would like to see that, or what staff has done.
Here to pass it down. There it
We'll pass that around.
And then if I may, Mr. Chair, just a quick update. The Bethel Hanbury School is moving forward. It's gotten all their approvals from the Board of Architecture Review and other reviewing agencies, so they're moving forward with that project. The Bethel Hanbury Elementary School, as we all are familiar with, and was presented to us, I guess at our last meeting. So that was a quick update on that. Council, meeting in November, obviously, we're still putting the agenda together, but we'll be on that agenda, likely be talking about hospitality tax and policies and procedures, applications on how the town will look at that moving forward. So that'll be something on the horizon. Quick update on Redgate, because I know that's been something we've been talking about. I spoke with the property owner's son, who was here at the meeting several weeks ago. Well, he was at the meeting several weeks ago. I spoke with him either last week or the week before last, and he gave me an update that they're working with a local civil engineer to come up with something tangible they can bring back to the table. And just a reminder that once they have that, they were going to give us a call, sit down with the chair or vice chair or both to kind of go over it and see if we, being the planning commission, I guess y'all, not necessarily me, but are comfortable with where they're going with that and what the next steps may be, along with that. So I just want to give you a quick update that I plan to get with them between now and our next meeting to have a sit down with the chair and vice chair to see what the next step will be, so we can kind of keep this on everybody's calendar, so to speak. So just a quick update on that, and that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Any
Mr.
questions
Cook,
from
yeah.
commissioners?
Sorry. Mr. Cook, do we have a groundbreaking date for Bethel Hanbury?
I'm sure there is, but there has been no communication of such with me. I don't know that I can find out, but I haven't received an invitation.
Pretty newsworthy event, and it's imminent, so.
Yeah. So, but certainly we will ask, yes, sir. And lastly, too, Mr. Chair, if I may add, I know we're getting close to the end of the year, and a few folks are asking about the planning and zoning mandatory training that's required under state law. We had some good training here in the last week or so that some folks took advantage of and got the required 3 hours of annual training. We'll offer one more training session. It'll be a staff-driven, it'll probably be a Zoom meeting, and we'll probably pull up some information from the Municipal Association or the South Carolina Association of Counties. We'll probably break it down like we did our last training, with 1.5 hour sessions, so you don't have to sit there for 3 hours, and maybe try to do it over 2 days. So we'll offer that one more time, and again, it is mandatory under state law if you want to serve on a board or commission to receive that annual 3-hour training in addition to your 6 hours of orientation training that people generally get within the first year. There's some exceptions to that. So it's important to get, and we'll have one more opportunity to get it this year.
I don't know if others had the opportunity to join in the last week or so. I think it was last week or the week before.
Week before.
But it was very good, some very good sessions offered, particularly the one for the Panthers training facility
Yeah.
in York County. That was very informative of how they're maneuvering that.
A lot of big bucks.
Very informative. So, any other questions for staff from the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. And, I may be outside of my boundaries with regards to this, but it's noted on the plat that there's no road access, and so I imagine that there would have to be a private road maintenance agreement between the parties.
Right, so
the
it's-
ownership or whatnot, that would be recorded and.
Right, with that deed, access would be recorded. There'd also be a form for exemption from road standards, also hold harmless and indemnification agreement that would be signed, and an affidavit of relationship. Basically, it's following the path of Richland County along those lines. So, yes, it is a little unusual, and
No, and
our
I just wanted to make sure we were, how did that fall through us? Where does that look like from the town's perspective? But I know it's common out here,
Great
question,
idea,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just had one other thing. When we redo our zoning land development ordinance, we want to make it a little more clear, how we look at these, because it was an issue with Richland County. They kind of cleared clarified a little bit more, so it needs to be a little more clear in our ordinance on how we deal or don't deal with these particular type of subdivision. Our, access is obviously a big issue.
I would think with the word subdivision, access would be
Mm-hmm.
pretty set, but
Right. And since we have basically agreements with Richland County, as far as, road maintenance and, and DOT as well, the county with emergency response, we're kind of on the same page with what the county would do in this regard. The county would approve it all day long as well.
Okay, and with that, we can move to open citizens' comments. And Mr. Fry, if you have one, because you're the only person out. Okay, and we have no open citizens' comments. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? Please go vote tomorrow. It's an important day if you haven't done so already. I waited in line to do it. First time I've ever voted early, but important day tomorrow, so. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
That has to be on world record.
Yeah.